Coming up on DITV, University of Iowa elections have wrapped up and we have the results. Stay tuned to find out which ticket won the student government elections. And later, presidential elections may be a year and a half away, but candidates are already making the most of their tours. See which candidates met with Iowa voters.
I tell you which Hawkeye heads to the state capitol today, and is probably his own security, coming up in sports.
Although the start of this week has been pleasant, there will be some rain coming through Iowa City later this week. Stay tuned for more on weather.
All that and more coming up on this Tuesday morning edition of DITV. Don't go anywhere, DITV starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Mackenzie Cooper. We're going to cover some local government information today and give some more information about the presidential campaign stops. Let's take a look at our first story. The 2019-2020 University of Iowa Student Government President and Vice President was announced on Monday afternoon. Noelle Mills and Sarah Henry from the Ignite Iowa ticket won the election. Their ticket focused on transparency, equality, and sustainability. Ignite Iowa won with 55.5% of the vote. The voter turnout rate for the election was 13.05%, with almost 3,000 undergraduate students participating in the election. 30 senators were elected, 19 being from the Ignite Iowa ticket. Noelle Mills, the 2019-2020 UISG president, previously served as UISG's Director of Finance. Sarah Henry, the vice president, served as a senator. Henry says she hopes that they can make UISG even more transparent and accessible. Mills says she plans on creating relationships with administrators over the summer so that they don't waste any time when students arrive in the fall. Mills and Henry's inauguration will take place on April 28th. Iowa's funding for its 3 state universities will fall below Governor Kim Reynolds' $18 million recommended increase if an Iowa House budget passes through the Iowa legislature. Iowa House of Representatives passed over $900 million education bill. It includes a boost of close to $16 million to be distributed between the University of Iowa, Iowa State University, and University of Northern Iowa. In the last 2 decades, Iowa's regent universities have seen the revenue shift. It has either been funded by 2/3 state appropriations and 1/3 tuition, or 1/3 state funding and 1/3 tuition. Iowa has been a stop on many presidential candidates' tours, and this past weekend was no different. Senator Bernie Sanders made a stop at various cities in Iowa, including Davenport, Fairfield, and Oskaloosa. He talked about tax returns, open borders, and voting rights for convicted felons. Sanders also shared the amount of money his campaign has raised, and he said he's proud of the work the volunteers are putting in. He made a joke about President Trump and wind turbines.
My staff and I, people are going to come down with cancer after a few days in Iowa, but we are brave souls, and here we are.
This comment has gained a lot of attention on social media, with both sides of the aisle critiquing and praising it. Sanders wasn't the only Democratic presidential candidate to visit Iowa. Congressman Tim Ryan started his presidential campaign in Iowa over the weekend. Ryan introduced himself to voters in a Des Moines brewing company. He said he will set himself apart from other candidates in the race by focusing on basic issues like economics, health, and education, but he says he's doing it with a different spin.
It can't be just the same old thing. It's got to be like, look, we need a new education system. We need a new economic vision, a new economic system. We need a healthcare system that focuses more on prevention. And I think that can get people excited, because it's going to take everybody to help develop that.
Ryan says his main focus, though, is uniting the country. It has been absolutely beautiful and finally starting to feel like spring in Iowa, and I just hope it sticks around. Let's pass it to Maggie Minders in the weather studio to find out more. Maggie?
Hi, Mackenzie. Yes, it's been very nice these last couple of days, but we're going to be seeing a little bit more rain this week. This morning we have a high of 65 degrees and partly cloudy skies, becoming more overcast in the afternoon. Moving into the evening, there will be a low of 40 degrees and an 80% chance of rain developing in the late evening hours. For the rest of the week, it looks like it'll be raining a lot, so let's take a look at the extended forecast. On Wednesday, we will have some steady rain in the morning hours carrying into the evening, with thunderstorms developing overnight. There will be some stronger winds reaching 30 miles per hour and temperatures in the 40s. Moving into Thursday, those thunderstorms from Wednesday will be carrying over with a 90% chance of rain. The temperature will increase slightly with a high in the lower 60s and a low in the upper 30s. On Friday, there will be rain showers in the morning with overcast skies and strong winds carrying into the afternoon, so make sure to prepare for a chillier day. The high will be in the mid-40s and a low in the lower 30s. Moving on to Saturday, we will see some nicer weather again with partly cloudy skies and a high in the low 50s and a low in the 30s. Make sure to enjoy the day because moving into Sunday, that rain will be returning with a 40% chance and a high temperature in the 50s and a low in the upper 30s. There's going to be a lot of rain moving through Iowa City this week, so make sure to bring your umbrella to class this week. Back to you, Mackenzie, at the desk.
Thanks, Maggie. A court case against an Iowa City school district. Excuse me one moment. We're having some technical difficulties. A case against the elementary school is moving to the Iowa Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has screened the case as of March 28th. This case was filed in 2017 through the Johnson County District Court, and the plaintiff argues it should have been voted on during the September 27 referendum. The decision to close the school occurred in 2013 and is part of the school district's master plan of construction of 3 new elementary schools, a high school, and other renovations. April's Earth Month, and recently the university has been doing what they can to avoid waste. DITV's Samantha Oswick discusses how they are encouraging students to reuse.
Reusable cups have been present in various coffee shops all around downtown Iowa City, and now they are just making their way onto the University of Iowa campus. UIowa's main library cafe is always busy with many students buying coffee, but those cups, which are lined with plastic and have plastic lids, are used typically only for an hour, but last a lifetime in landfills. Only 1% of disposable coffee cups get recycled, which prompts the initiative of Bring Your Own Mug. Library cafe employee told me how UI students are taking advantage of this option.
Yeah, we offer discounted refills if they bring their cup back, so a lot of students do that, especially if they're staying in the library all day.
Remembering to always bring a reusable cup can be hard, but Elizabeth McKenzie, the recycling coordinator for Iowa Office of Sustainability, had some tips on how students on campus can slowly start making an environmental impact individually.
Getting yourself a nice reusable water bottle that you can carry around campus and just start using it. And then once that becomes second nature, then maybe you get a coffee mug if you drink coffee or tea and start using that, or refuse to use straws if you go out to eat. Something that seems reasonable to you that you can actually accomplish, and then doing it and sticking to it.
Opt for a reusable cup for your coffee instead of creating waste. From the Iowa Main Library, I'm Samantha Ostwick for DITV News.
Spring is here, which means that Hawkeye Spring Sports is here as well. We have Marissa Kraft in the sports studio with more. Good morning, Marissa.
That's right, Mackenzie. Spring sports are in full swing. First up, men's tennis challenged top-ranked Ohio State this weekend on their outdoor courts for the first time this season on Sunday. The Hawks put up a tough fight, but lost 4-1 against the Buckeyes. The doubles point was tested, with the Buckeyes ultimately claiming the point at the end of the doubles match. The 18th-ranked doubles team won 6-2 on court 1. Courts 2 and 3 went back and forth with Ohio State. Players Nikita Shinesko and Joe Tyler fell towards the end with the score 7-5 on court 3. Kareem Alaf and Will Davies played well against the 33rd ranked team on court 2 before the match was suspended. Oliver Okonkwo took home the only win in singles for the Hawkeyes. Okonkwo won in straight sets, 6-3 and 6-4 over Buckeye Martin Joyce on court 3.
For me personally, that match, it meant a lot. Pretty sweet, the fact it's the day before my birthday, so I'm pretty happy with that. But I mean, I played how I needed to play on the day, so pretty happy.
Doubles, obviously we had multiple match points at number 2 doubles and multiple at number 3. Couldn't pull it out, but thought we played at a high level. Singles, 1 through 6, go down the line, against the number 1 team in the country. I thought we played well. So, we'll take this and build on it and build from the positives and be ready next weekend to play Purdue and Indiana.
Iowa will return back in action as they travel for their next 3 matches against Purdue, Indiana, and IUPUI. Before tennis this Sunday, Iowa City hosted the Big Ten Men's Gymnastics Championships on Friday and Saturday. And even though the Hawkeyes did not perform as well as they would have hoped, competing in front of the home crowd made them the big winners of the weekend. DITV sports reporter Cade Overton has more.
For the first time since 2012, the Big Ten Championships were hosted here at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and it was an event that all of the gymnasts would remember for a long time. Men's gymnastics in the Big Ten is extremely competitive, as all 7 of the teams are ranked in the top 10. The athletes were going to give it their all no matter what, but the atmosphere surrounding the center stage added a lot of hype for everyone. Fans from all 7 of the schools were there chanting and cheering for their school. The gymnasts were showing off some of the hardest routines, and when they nailed it, you could expect to hear a loud yell of excitement. Iowa's J.D. Reeve was in his 2nd year as head coach last time the Hawkeyes played host to this event, but this time around was a whole other experience.
Gymnastics meets don't typically look like this. With the staging and the arena and everything that we put into it, this was top-notch across the board. Like, this is a championship event that was going to be very hard to follow up. So I think we set the bar really high.
And for one Iowa senior, this event was the perfect ending to his home career.
Staking my last dismount in Carver, my last routine ever, like, I couldn't have asked for anything more. I mean, a single tear, like, came down my face, but I was like, I didn't want to get too emotional, I want to save it for the end.
The Iowa Hawkeyes showed a lot of success here at the Big Ten Championships, but the most memorable part about the weekend was being able to host it here at home in Iowa City. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, Cade Overton, DITV Sports.
Iowa City has hosted their fair share of postseason events this year already, and the energy has been fantastic each time. While the cleanup crew finalizes their job from the Big Ten Championships today, wrestler Spencer Lee is going to have to trade in the singlet for the Senate. Spencer Lee is headed to Des Moines today, where he'll be recognized by the Iowa House and Senate for his 2019 NCAA Wrestling Championship. Lee outscored his opponents 55-7 to win the 125-pound national title in March at the NCAA Championships in Pittsburgh. Lee finished the season at 23-3 and overall with 18 bonus point wins. We know Tom Brands thinks of Spencer Lee as a great ambassador. I guess the Senate is the best way to put that to the test. Now, heading back here to Iowa City, the Iowa softball team had a rescheduling yesterday morning. Originally, Iowa was slated to host Iowa State at Bob Pearl Field on Wednesday at 6. But due to expected weather forecast, the Hawkeyes and Cyclones will actually play this evening at 6. The Hawkeyes are 15-19 and lost their last 8 games, while the Cyclones are 22-15 and winners of their last 4. But that's all I have for you in Sports Studio today. Be sure to come back tomorrow to see how the Hawkeye softball team fares this evening.
An Iowa man can walk again with the help of a 3D printer. Shaka Robertson learned to live with pain after an accident 20 years ago after he fell out of a car and separated his foot from his ankle. His ankle is reconstructed with pins, but after doing some yard work, he thought he twisted it. Robinson got a total ankle replacement with a bone made from a 3D printer. It's an option that hasn't been popular, but the doctors say Robertson's new foot will get better as time goes on. And thank you for tuning in to this Tuesday morning edition of DITV. Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news. And if that isn't enough of the Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out our print edition of the news on Stands Now. For DITV, I'm Mackenzie Cooper. Have a great day, Iowa City.